तपाईँको लाइफमा हुने भएको रिलेसनसिप्सहरू अहिले जुन चाहिँ छ रिलेसनसिप्सहरू त्यो रिलेसनसिप्सहरूले चाहिँ कस्तो वेमा तपाईँको म्युजिकल जर्नीमा हेल्प गर्छ अथवा कस्तो वेजमा चाहिँ तपाईँको क्रिएटिभ प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ कन्ट्रिब्युट गरिरहेको हुन्छ
I think my relationship with my parents and with my family is basically the same हैन त्यस्तो केही चेन्ज त छैन सबै साथीहरूले बरु अलि एटिट्युड चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो चाहिँ भन्नुहुन्छ क्या अझै त कस्तो you're not like a celebrity भन्छ क्या साथीहरूले हैन
relationships that I've had in my life yeah, definitely. I think every time you engage creatively or find yourself on this path, I think everything that you go through is going to shape how you approach your music, you know?
My parents, they kind of instilled in me like artist hune, bikhari hune life ho. And I always had that fear as well. Like I've always wanted to be financially stable. So, it was always my fear of like not having enough financially to survive. And maybe that's why I really chose like this scholarship later, university jane, ramro kam गर्ने, maybe do masters in that. This was सोचेको थियो मैले. But I think I reached a boiling point, and I think I decided like, so I actually moved out of like my parents' kogar in my early 20s because there were certain things I just couldn't really agree with them ideologically, and I also felt like I can't live under the same roof as them and then expect them to understand where I'm coming from.
For the longest time, I had this like bad idea about what music and what like artistic endeavors should be. त्यो भन्छ नि एउटा एकदम पपुलर खालके सेयिङ हुन्छ कि जसको मुटु टुक्रेको छैन जसले दुःख पाएको छैन उसले राम्रो गाना लेख्न सक्दैन राम्रो लिटरेचर गर्न सक्दैन भनेर
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we all go through, ups and downs when it comes to family, when it comes to friendship, friends, and all the other experience that we gain or we kind of have a trouble as of emotional side of it.
Because it's since I was a kid, it's been really hard for them to understand where I come from. Like it's like their way is the right way, and it's like nothing is up for discussion. I felt like in my early 20s, like why am I still doing this? So I moved out, and त्यो पनि अब नेपाली फ्यामिलीमा त ठुलो like घटना हो like सबैले थाहा पायो के गर्छ like किन घरबाट मुभ आउट बिहा पनि भएछ नि why is she moving out भयो थियो के but I moved out because I really needed that space for myself. And my mom was really angry with me for a long time. But I think being distant from them, like physically distant, actually improved our relationship. Kinaki, I think it helped us establish boundaries. Like, if you keep disagreeing with my things, like I'm also not gonna meet you. So it's kind of like, I guess some people might find it a bit cruel, but I feel like if every time I'm just meeting to get scolded, I'm also not gonna meet you.
And even performances, everything that has happened to me since my childhood, and in relationships when and it's not always like in black and white, ekdam complex where it's multi-layered and that helps you navigate your music because life money or navigating tools or and vice versa. If I have some tools that I've enabled myself with to navigate my music, they tools in my life when you navigate गर्न सक्छु.
And as I've grown, I feel like more and more I disagree with this idea, okay? Which is such a good feeling to have. राम्रो चीज बनाउन आफू टुक्रिनु पर्दैन जस्तो लाग्छ के हुन्छ नि so you don't have to go through all this bullshit of life just to make music is just an expression you make happy music if you're happy if you're sad you make sad music it's just what it is हैन अनि with the relationship as well if there is supportive people around you no matter what you're going through, it already makes things better.
And then, yeah, I try to write or sing in the best way possible, which will express the ups and lows, which was the ultimate result of this particular breakdown, which is done by the relationship itself. Yeah? That's what I do.
It helped me to actually establish some kind of boundaries. With the rest of my family members, I have a really hard time meeting them because they can't really understand what I'm doing. And किन नेपाल फर्केको? So I was like, oh, म music, arts, culture गर्दैछु. अनि अब म त्यो नेपालीमा translate पनि गर्न आएन कि अब arts, culture कसरी explain गर्ने के? अनि पछि they think I'm doing some kind of NGO job, and I was like, okay, I'm doing some kind of NGO job, but I'm really not doing an NGO job. And I feel the saddest around my baje boze, because they're always like, "Esto janni bhara, force doctor हुन सक्थ्यो नि family मा के गरिरहेको, music गरिरहेको," and it's just like, they don't really know I'm doing music. They know I'm doing something like culture, arts, and I really wish they never come across my music video.
So if I've had trouble confronting certain dynamics in a relationship, त्यो musicले पनि मलाई help गरिरहेको हुन्छ to approach that topic. And also music release भएपछि, you know, there are a lot of personal things sometimes. अब त्यो stories-हरु पनि मैले, it's not always through music, it's through other mediums like theater and spoken word. अनि and that changes the dynamic after it's released as well with certain people, because उनीहरूले सुन्छ and they also reflect on it, and suddenly they're looking back at a certain time. So yeah, the change भइबस्छ, affect भइबस्छ. I think it goes both ways.
So family-सँग dynamic manage गर्न, I think it's gotten harder, family members, because they can't understand what I'm doing, especially यस्तो साह्रो पढे लेखेको भएर के गरेको जस्तो लागेछ. With my parents, I think they've come to accept it to a certain point. मेरो मम्मीलाई चाहिँ अप्ठ्यारै लाग्छ. Like, she was like, I didn't tell my parents when I released my first music video and EP. She actually found out from her co-worker, यो तपाईको छोरी होइन र भनेर, because that music video went viral in Hong Kong as well. And my mom was like, मलाई कस्तो लाज लाग्यो मेरो छोरी हो भन्न, because she was like, तिमीलाई F word, B word, D word, P word, सबै शब्द भन्नु पर्छ र. So I was like, I'm taking that as a challenge as well, because मेरो मम्मीलाई कस्तो अप्ठ्यारो लाग्छ के त्यो swear words सुन्न. So त्योमा चाहिँ अब my mom has a hard time, but I think slowly they're coming around to it.
अनि क्रिएटिभ प्रोसेस चाहिँ रिलेसनसिपसँग कतिको चिजहरू डिपेन्डेन्ट हुन्छ हैन, लाइक बट you take more out of the relationship in terms of your life rather than creation. Okay, so first you feel you're supported or you're not, and then that happens. And you kind of inclusive, like sometimes you feel it's so much like intertwined, but it's not that much intertwined. Okay, you can separate your relationships from your creation process, and you can just take the relationship as what is meant to be for your life rather than for your creation.
So the last question I would say, is there a difference between a good song and a hit song?
So I think अझै धेरै कुरा लर्न सिक्नुपर्ने छ मैले, तर आई थिङ्क मेरो रिलेसनसिप चाहिँ सबैसँग जस्तो थियो पहिला थियो अहिले पनि त्यस्तै छ.
Physically distant भएर चाहिँ प्यारेन्ट्सहरुसँग चाहिँ अलिकति इम्प्रुभ चाहिँ भएको छ रिलेसनसिप, because they kind of know my boundaries. Like अब यस्तो भन्यो भने I will also like kind of stop replying. But अरू family members-सँग चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ अप्ठ्यारो लाग्छ, because I think they have such a hard time understanding what I'm doing, especially नेपाल फर्केपछि चाहिँ it's really hard to face them, because I can always see the judgment in their face, and I really don't want to have a conversation about it.
Suski, what do you hope the people who listen to your music, or not, or for people who are yet to listen to your music, and what do you hope they take away or take out of your musics?